Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Francis Entertainment Center, and today's next stories are called Naughty Nautical Neighbors and Boating School. Enjoy the videos. On a seemingly normal day, Squidward has made a delicious souffle, but SpongeBob and Patrick's innocent laughter distracts him from annoying it. Squidward sees that they are having private conversations with Bubbles. They whisper a message into the bubble wand instead of blowing into it, and when the bubble pops, the recipient can hear the message. Annoyed by this, Squidward comes up with a plan to mess up SpongeBob and Patrick's fun by convincing SpongeBob to make him his best friend and betray Patrick. As his first phase, he makes bubbles of his own using a byproduct from his souffle and proceeds to insult the two by imitating their voices to ruin their friendship, thinking it will give him peace and quiet. Thinking the bubbles are from each other, SpongeBob and Patrick become angry and get into a fight as Squidward goes outside and eats his souffle. Amused at his neighbor's fight, the two eventually declare that they are no longer friends before storming back to their houses. Patrick gets squashed with his own house while laughing at Patrick while eating. Squidward accidentally chokes on his fork, then faints. Patrick witnesses this and successfully saves Squidward's life by performing CPR on him. Squidward thanks Patrick and bribes him to help lure SpongeBob to this house by becoming Patrick's new friend, inviting him into his house to watch him practice his clarinet composition called Solitude in E minor. Despite Patrick claiming to love music, he immediately falls asleep as soon as Squidward plays a single note, much to Squidward's annoyance. Meanwhile, a lonely SpongeBob tries to cheer himself up by drawing faces on 3 of his fingers, pretending they are his friends, but this only results in him bursting into tears. Squidward struggles to drag a sleeping heavy Patrick out of his house and throws his back out in the process. SpongeBob sees this as an opportunity to help him and, despite protests from Squidward, launches himself into the ladder's back and cracks it back into the place. Squidward screams, but immediately feels better. However, he repeats his mistake, referring to SpongeBob as his friend while thanking him, thus making SpongeBob believe that Squidward is his new best friend. They both then walk into Squidward's house. Squidward asks SpongeBob to make noise for Patrick by playing a song badly for him on his cello, which he thinks is a bassinet. Patrick wakes up while overhearing the song and appears in the window, only to interrupt the song, causing SpongeBob to destroy the instrument in a fit of rage. Frustrated that his plan has failed, Squidward explodes in a fury and kicks him out as a result, and decides to take a relaxing bubble bath. Is horrified to find Patrick lounging in the tub and warming up a scrub brush and a bar of soap from him. Disgusted, Squidward fiercely orders him to leave, but SpongeBob appears through the window and discovers Patrick in Squidward's tub, causing the two to argue again. This drives Squidward crazy, and he flees his house to hide in a trash can outside. Seeing the huge mess he created with his plan, instead of getting the peace and quiet he thought he'd get, Squidward realizes he needs another plan to reunite SpongeBob and Patrick, and thus making them leave him alone. Squidward decides to invite SpongeBob and Patrick to a dinner party without telling either of them that the other is coming to fix their relationship. When they arrive, they're still mad at each other. Squidward tries to get them back together by offering them soda, but the situation devolves into a competition to see who can drink the most soda, and thus becomes Squidward's friend. Eventually, Squidward runs out of soda and leaves to get some more, telling the two to stay and chat. While he is gone, SpongeBob and Patrick, who are both extremely engorged from all the soda they drank, still refuse to talk or even look at each other. SpongeBob then hiccups a small bubble that makes a burping sound upon popping, which amuses them both. Their immense laughter, which follows releases bubbles, reverts them to their normal weight, and they become friends again. However, they create so many bubbles that it causes Squidward's house to explode. Upon arriving back and seeing the destruction, Squidward gets enraged and angrily tells the two to leave, slams the door, which somehow is still standing shut. Seconds later, a bubble hops against the door, causing it to fall over and crush Squidward, who then weakly moans over regaining back his pain.